Hello everybody, I just wanted to point out a few things during the Trump's rally last Saturday, which took place in Pennsylvania, and the alleged assassination attack that took place there. I just wanted to point out a few things that I observed just by watching the video footage there, and I wanted to share with you those points. Bear in mind, I have advocated Trump before, and I'm not saying that I am anti-Trump or pro-Democrats or anything like that. I'm not. I've never been, and this has got nothing to do with anything. This is just to say you need to be unbiased and be level-headed in whatever you see and whatever you hear via media or social media or mainstream media, whatever means you're watching or hearing the news. You have to read between the lines and analyze them, and you need to have discernment, the gift of discernment of the Holy Spirit, and observe everything in line with that. Otherwise you can be deceived easily, especially these days when we don't know who is who and what is what. There is no right and left these days. I personally consider myself a right person as far as politics is concerned, but however, the right and left are so much intermingled these days, and as you see a person, you cannot tell sometimes whether they're a man or woman because of what they have done to themselves, or they show themselves or they appear. Then the same way you cannot tell a politician whether they are right or left because of so much infiltration in the system. Now, having said all that, I just wanted to make sure you understand I am not against Trump. I've never been. So, but I would like to say these things because regardless of who is behind this or what is behind this, it is wrong, and as such has to be exposed and not let people to be deceived by it. So first thing, I wanted to point out a few things and let you watch the footage over and over again and judge for yourself and just consider those points. First of all, he's pointing to the right where the alleged assassin is hiding on a roof, and when you later, I'll show you the position of the assassin and the location of Trump. You can see there is an angle, and if you consider the angle, with that angle it is very difficult, if it's not impossible, to shoot his right ear. And one thing I would like to say first of all is that the pivotal point, what gave it away to me, the indicator that this was all set up, was that when the guards, the security guards, jumped on him, surrounded him, they spent a lot of time down there to take him away. And then when they got up, he had some streaks of blood on his face, which wasn't consistent, and it didn't look like real, because blood would be running down, and it wouldn't be just like that dropping some in front of your face, around your lips and the side of your cheek, and then have a big gap with no blood between your ear and where the blood is on your front of your cheek. So that is one problem. The blood itself, you'll see later in the footage where I show you his right ear, it shows that the blood is looking like clotted blood. It's not fresh and runny, and there's no more drips. When he goes down, just before he goes down, he's holding his right ear with his right hand, and when he gets up, at that moment where he's putting his fist in the air, a couple of times he opens his hand, where you can see there is no blood in his hand. When he gets up, he's looking for his shoes. For some reason, he keeps saying, "Let me get my shoes, let me get my shoes," or something like that. And then he says, "Wait, wait," and they wait. And then he puts his fist up and says, "Fight, fight, fight," which is, to me, it was like something that was more important to all of them, and particularly to Trump himself, than the shooting incident, than the lives of other people as well as himself, than even the lives of the security guards around him. Because if the assassin is still alive, which they wouldn't know, could be shooting, or there could be other assassins around, could be shooting him or the security guards or just civilians around him. So this is dangerous. They're just putting lives of other people in danger just to say fight, fight, fight. I think that was the most important thing for them and the guards, to make sure that is happening, and posing that photogenic posture for photographers, for cameramen, for reporters to take very good pictures, and make sure they have had enough time to take good pictures to post them around.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold on, your head is bloody.
Sir, we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. My shoes.
Watch out.
Wait, sir. Wait, sir.
And that is going to be used everywhere. I'm betting you there's going to be posters of that all around, sold. There's going to be companies making money out of this, making statues, little decorations and ornaments of, that, with the American flag above it and all that. And in fact, there probably will be a big statue of that moment made in a square in a big city or somewhere in America, just as an iconic figure of freedom and liberty and heroic acts of a president and all that. However, these are the points that I wanted to point out, and there's more. As you watch, you see more and more giveaway points that indicates this is all set up. The sniper on the roof above, behind Trump, on that roof behind him, he is pointing actually at the assassin. So they knew where he was, they knew about his whereabouts, and they knew he's out there. But they didn't do anything until there was some shooting. So they were waiting for him to take the first action. So that tells me they all knew about it. The fact that eyewitnesses have come out and said that they were pointing out the assassin to the police, to the security guards and all that, and they didn't do anything, that again, that interprets to me that they knew all about it, they were all in it, and they didn't do anything because of their own agenda.
Someone who was here, you weren't inside the event, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees out there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at him for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? This is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You could see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
No, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. We saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. It was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it, but
sure. But
it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely.
So, how do you process what you've just seen?
I don't know what to say, man. All I'll tell you is, if I walked up close to there with anything that Secret Service considered a problem, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. But I don't know why a guy who we're standing there pointing out to police and Secret Service is crawling up the roof.
When you look at even the position of the person that was killed in the audience compared to the position of Trump, there's a big gap, there's a big distance, kind of. He was at the last row almost behind him, and the angle of the position of the assassin and Trump wouldn't even allow him to shoot his ear and not to get him. He would either miss him completely or shoot him down. So it wouldn't be possible, and then shoot somebody who is a few rows above him, behind him. So that all just doesn't add up. The time they took, the guards over him, just to get ready and then get up and then say, when you're ready, still they take a little bit of a time after that till they get up. And when they do get up, like I said, he says, wait. He has to do his gesture, this posture at that moment. He wants to give plenty of time to the reporters and photographers to take those good pictures from him so they can use. Another thing I wanted to say is that the security guards were not even interested in his blood. There was no compression on his ear or something to do any first aiding or anything, but they were more interested in him taking those postures, putting his fist in the air, take pictures and say those words. So that again, that's an indication that to me indicates this was all set up. But the point of the scenario is not just taking pictures, of course, is the agenda behind it, to have more control over guns, more control over people, more control over the rallies and all those kind of things. I don't know what the agenda exactly is or will be, but what I do know is they were all in it, and there is no doubt about that. I have no doubt about it. At first, when I saw this, the first time I saw the first footage, I thought maybe it is suspicious. Let me think about this. Let me, watch it over and over again. But the more I watched it, the more I realized. As soon as, especially, I heard the eyewitnesses witnessing to what they'd seen and showing and pointing out to the gunman on the roof and them doing nothing, it was just obvious to me that the whole thing was a setup. Of course, he is going to be voted in to the office, and he'll be the next president because of this. And if it wasn't because of this, he would be probably president anyway. But this gives them more power to do other things that they wanted to do. Now, as far as people's decisions, of course, it changes. It has changed the polls already. Some who were on the fence, they have tipped over to be more towards the Republicans, and a lot of Democrats who were traditionally voting for Democrats or Democratic Party. Then they have also changed their views, and they're going to vote for Republicans or for Trump. And this is one of the first results, but there is more than that. There is more than eyes can see in this show, if you like. As far as Trump himself is concerned, as far as I am concerned, Trump, I am not sure. I don't know for sure. I can't tell you with any evidence whether actually Trump is Trump. Because as far as I'm concerned, Trump, since 2020, when he contracted the virus, he almost became a different person after that. Because before that he was saying totally different things about the virus, and then after that he was saying totally different things, opposite scales of spectrum. And I don't know if he's a replacement, if he's a clone or whatever, actor or whatever he is, or he is himself. I don't know, I'm not sure. But what I do know is it could be bought. It could have been threatened. I don't know. What I do know is not the same as he was 4 or 5 years ago. What all this means is, first of all, this will change the result of the elections. This will change a lot of laws and bills in the government in this country, in America. And this also means that for us, for the people, it means that you have to be as wise as serpents, like Jesus told us, and as harmless as sheep. Especially and very, very particularly in this day and age, when you can't tell who is who and what is what, where there are too much infiltration in everything and every system. So you have to ask for the discernment of the Holy Spirit to have that, to judge and discern everything you see and you hear. Otherwise, you can be easily deceived. I just wanted to say this because I feel like, they're trying to pull wool over people's eyes, although I love what Trump stands for, not Trump himself particularly, but what he stands for, or what Republicans stand for traditionally. But however, this thing, on this occasion at least, is wrong, and I don't condone that, and in fact I condemn it. It risks lots of people's lives, and it has injured and killed innocent people for some people's political gain. This is not right. And when you look at the gunman just going around, this silly gunman pointing the gun at just the unarmed, just normal audience people, that's just silly. It's just the way they act, and the reaction of the security people when they get up with Trump, when they get him up and they stand all around him as a security wall. If you look at their faces, although most of them have glasses on, but if you look at their faces, you can see they're not really bothered at all. They're not rushed, they're not stressed, they don't feel like under any kind of pressure to do anything. They're not rushing. Like I said, they're taking their time to make sure the reporters are taking those good pictures. And him himself is not very stressed either. And this is not a movie, but it is made out just like a movie, just like a magic stage. If you haven't seen the series of Just for Laughs, go ahead and type on YouTube Just for Laughs gags, and you'll see a series of people in various countries going and staging up scenarios in different locations where normal people are easily fooled and go along with them, and this has been going on for a few years. Just for Laughs is a series that is really for laughs, but I think even that was used for testing the populace to see how far they can go with the authorities, with the powers, see how far they can push people without them saying anything. So if you watch, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, you need to see that. If you have, you know what I'm talking about already. This is the same as that. It's just on a bigger scale. And when I watched this and I heard the eyewitnesses testifying to what they had seen, it just reminded me of Twin Towers. It was a similar scenario that took place then. And after that, a lot of things in the world changed, even the way we travel and the way we go through airports. And fact is, after that, in 2020 also, after what happened, things changed in the world as well. And now after this event, this incident also, a lot of things are going to change in the world. And the reason I say that is because this is important, and the way all the world leaders have reacted are put on the screen. The reactions of the world leaders. I'll keep the screen for a few seconds on each page for you to see, if you want to pause it and read the reactions of each leader. You'll see one thing in every single one of them, apart from one or two of them, have this phrase mentioned in their remarks in one way or the other. And the phrase is, political violence has no place in our democracy, or political violence has no place in democracies, something like that. And this just resonates with what they said when we had whistleblowers during the 2020 pandemic, and all the mainstream media had the same phrase saying, "This is dangerous to our democracy," and I played that as well. So you can see how this is a world, because this is a global agenda. So it's not like something that that's just for America. It's a global thing, and they're all in it. All the world leaders are in it, and so you can see for yourself what I mean when they did.
And Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about trouble and sharing irresponsible, one-sided news stories
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 So the conclusion here is that I would like you to take things with a pinch of salt, whatever you see and hear, and pray over them, and have the discernment of the Holy Spirit, as we have been commanded to do. Test every spirit and not believe everything that you see and you hear. Discern the spirits. I rest my case here, and I hope you have a good time. God bless you, and goodbye.